Hi, my name is Keaton, and my driving question is the characteristics of German Shepherds. German Shepherds are one of the world's easiest training dogs in the world. They're the loyalest dogs in the world. They're hardworking. They're mostly used in the military and dispatch unit and used in assistance for blind and paralyzed people in the search and rescue. They are really intelligent. They're one of the most beautiful dog breeds with different varieties of coat types and powerful dark muzzle. German Shepherds are the second most registered dogs in the United States. They love to play and need a lot of exercise to keep them occupied. When you start training your German Shepherd, you should start to train them when they are puppies. That you start them with potty training, then you start with basic commands. Start training them when they're 7 to 8 weeks old. Keep your commands short and simple. German Shepherds without any special attentions are known to take a bullet for their owners. They have different colors like black and tan and white. The nose of the breed has around 225 million scent receptors. Humans have 400, which enables them to excel at detecting scents on the air and on the ground.
Hello, my name is Trevor, and I'll be telling the history about hot dogs. The birthplace of the hot dogs. The birthplace of the hot dogs was by two German towns in Vienna. The birthday was in 1484, 8 years before Columbus set off to America. And the creator was Frankfurter. Some ways the hot dogs are made are by meat trimmings, fat, also salt, garlic, and other liquids. In the U.S., 2 billion hot dogs are eaten every year. 70 are eaten by a person. A famous hot dog is the Chicago dog, an all-beef hot dog topped with yellow mustard, green relish, chopped onions, pickle spears, sport peppers, tomato slices, and celery, salt, or poppy seed bun. Another one is the Southwest Saharan dog, a bacon-wrapped hot dog topped with pinto beans, grilled onions, and green peppers, and tomato jalapeno sauce.
A mix of pork, beef, and chicken. The cuts they start with are called trimmings, pieces of meat left over from cutting steaks or pork chops. The trimmings are ground the same way butchers chop up hamburger meat, by pushing the cuts through grated metal plates. Processed chicken trimmings are added to the ground meat, followed by food starch, salt, and other flavorings, and everything is blended together in a big vat. Corn syrup adds a dash of sweetness. The addition of even more water helps to disperse the ingredients and make the hot dogs juicier. Another machine then purees the meat batter into a fine emulsion and vacuums out any air. Long rolls of cellulose tubing are loaded into the stuffing machine. It takes just 35 seconds to make a chain of hot dogs that would span a soccer field twice.
And that concludes my presentation. Hello, my name
is Charles, and I'm doing the history of basketball. Basketball was first invented by a Canadian teacher in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1891. His name is Dr. James Naismith. The reason for the creation of basketball was for a winter sport, and so it could be less of an energy game. When he made the game basketball, it wasn't expected to be a popular game, but now it's one of the most popular sports. The first ever point made in NBA history was made by Ozzie Schwartzman, and the first person who made the first three-pointer was made by Chris Ford. The game in NBA history was played by the New York Knickerbockers, and they originally used a soccer ball as a basketball, but soon they made a basketball.
Hello. Only one American sport has a known founding, a clear creator, and a beginning: basketball. It started in December 1891, when the cold Massachusetts temperature drove guys inside. James Naismith saw how restless they were. They missed their usual outdoor sports, and indoor baseball was never going to take off. The director of the Springfield Young Men's Christian Association tapped Naismith to create a new indoor sport, an athletic distraction, they called it, to help guys make it through the winter. It had to be interesting, easy to learn, easy to play in the winter, and playable by artificial light. And it needed to be more strategic than forceful, no broken bones. Naismith studied rugby, baseball, lacrosse, and soccer, thinking about ways to adapt the best parts of each sport to a small gym. They ended up with 2 peach baskets and a soccer ball. He nailed the baskets 10 feet up, wrote 13 rules, and launched his basketball league. The first game, 9-on-9, launched on this day, December 21st, 1891. It had 2 15-minute halves, and it ended with a score of 9-3. The game spread quickly. Dribbling was added, YMCA leagues formed around the country, and in 1901, colleges began adding basketball to their sponsored list of sports. Eventually, holes were cut in the bottom of the basket so that the ball would drop through automatically, and the number of players on the court dropped to 5. Better choice. Less than 40 years after its invention, the sport they called basketball became an Olympic sport.
That concludes my presentation.
Hi, I'm Kaya, and my driving question is, what is the history of volleyball? Volleyball was invented in 1895. William G. Morgan invented volleyball. He invented volleyball after basketball was invented. Volleyball was originally called minuet. The setting and spikes for volleyball was first demonstrated in the Philippines. In 1916, In 1984, Los Angeles Olympic American men and women took gold and silver indoor medals to volleyball competitions. 2 years later, the first two-man beach volleyball game was played, the professional side of the sport. It did not emerge until later on. The first beach volleyball was invented in California. In the 1900s, the special volleyball was invented for the game. In 1916, in the Philippines, an offensive style of passing the ball in a high trajectory, it began to be struck by a player in 1916 in the Philippines by the Filipinos. This promoted American volleyball players to call it as the Filipino bomb, because spiking the ball was like a hit or form of attack that can squash or kill the opportunity of the opponent team to hit the ball for a possible point or win. In 1917, the game was changed 21 to 15 points. In the 1920s, 3 hits per side and backroom attacks were invented. In 1922, YMCA championships were held in Brooklyn, New York. 27 teams from 11 states were represented. In 1928, it became clear that tournaments and rules were needed. So the United States Volleyball Association was formed. In the 1930s, the first two-man beach game was played. In 1995, the sport of volleyball was 100 years old. Now I'm going to be showing you one video.
Volleyball is played on a rectangular field of 18 by 9 meters, surrounded by an unobstructed area. It is divided in two by a net and has a front zone of 3 meters width on each side of the net. The height of the net is 2.43 meters for men and 2.24 meters for women. 2 antennae, or rods, are attached to the net above the sidelines. The rods pass 80 centimeters vertically up from the sidelines and mark the boundaries for where the ball can be played. To play, 2 teams of 6 players rally the ball to each other over the net between the rods. The ball can touch the net during its passage. The teams play 3 sets against one another, up to 25 points. In the case of a 5th set, it is played up to 15 points.
I hope you enjoyed learning about the history of volleyball, and that concludes my presentation.
Hello, my name is Christian, and my Genius Hour topic was coding. Coding is basically just a string of commands that you can tell the computer to do. Let's say you wanted the computer to say hello world. If you're doing Python, you'd have to say print hello world in parentheses and in brackets. In coding, you can make things more complicated with variables. I would like to show you 3 types of coding that I've been learning. First is JavaScript. JavaScript is one of the most basic types of coding. Easiest for beginners and can be learned pretty easily. C++ is way more complicated, but it can still run on a lot of different programs. Like, let's say you're making a game, C++ would be your go-to. Python is more used for MPC and word programming on computers.
I was in 8th grade when I learned to program.
I first learned how to make a green circle and a red square appear on the screen.
You just learn these lessons, and there aren't that many of them, and you just eventually can get to the point where you can do almost anything that you want.
Computer science is just learning how a computer works and how it thinks so that you can teach it to do new things.
These days, what you can do in computer science is pretty much amazing.
I think it's the closest thing we have to a superpower.
That concludes my presentation.
Hello, I am Jacob, and this is my presentation. The T-Rex was the alpha predator of its time and had teeth to do so. The T-Rex was a big carnivore and used its brains to do so. It was pretty smart, but not smart enough to speak. The T-Rex's name means tyrant lizard and lived 65 million years ago. It could run as fast, it could go as fast as the fastest human runner, and it could smell pretty well. The bite force of a T-Rex is 12,800 pounds, so that means it was good enough to rip into flesh and break its bones so it could chew it down and eat it. The lifespan of a T-Rex was about 30 years. This seems a little short to us, but dinosaurs is our lifespan seems a little bit too long. They lived in North America in valleyways and forests. Scientists think this is how they hunted. Now for our hit list, or T-Rex hit list. The first dino on our hit list is the Triceratops. They fed off these things because they were big, obviously. And the Triceratops had huge horns to defend themselves. And these things could grow up to 3 feet long. And you might not think these were bad, but try getting your camp with one of those, and I bet you won't be saying that again. The next victim on our hit list is the Ankylosaurus. This thing was really big, like huge, and was pretty colorful. Now for the only carnivore on our hit list, the Santaraptor. This thing had pretty gruesome teeth and was meant for going for the quick kill. The T-Rex was very much a cannibal and liked doing so. It had the teeth to do so. The teeth were as big as a banana.
This is an animal that can plan and execute a devastating attack. It's a behavior hardwired into the brain.
If you're trying to increase your evolutionary...
As you saw there, the T-Rex had these nostrils meant for smelling and getting at its prey. And it had muscles in its jaws to help kill the prey. It usually went for the neck for the quick kill, and was and it had little eyes, so it couldn't see that well. Pretty much blind, I think. The T-Rex was very smart and could easily outrun its prey if needed, and sometimes went in packs. So this is my presentation, and goodbye. Hi, my name is Peyton, and my driving question is, what are the characteristics of sugar gliders? This topic interested me because me and my stepmom were thinking about adopting one if we could. Sugar gliders have become increasingly popular with pets over the last few years due to their extremely friendly and social natures towards humans and the desire to own a strange pet. Sugar gliders are native to northern and eastern Australia as well as New Guinea. They are marsupials, meaning the females have a pouch where the young migrate to and are raised. The males have a unique gland on the top of their head that is part of their scent marking that looks like an area where there's hair missing. They are called sugar gliders because they have large skin folds under their arms that enable them to glide around. Sugar gliders are nocturnal, and if you wake one up during the day, it may get grumpy. Normally, they awaken around dusk, but some don't awaken until 10 to 2 a.m. A healthy sugar glider can live up to 12 to 15 years. Sugar gliders have a unique calcium and protein requirement, and they normally eat fresh vegetables, but as a pet you can make their food, which may include honey, beet puree, and added calcium, which is very healthy for them. They can also eat mealworms. Sugar gliders consume about 15 to 20% of their body weight daily. Every other day, they include small insects as 1/3 of their daily diet. Here are my videos.
Because they have these large skin folds under their arms that do enable them to glide. And you can see in some of the animals this large skin fold underneath the arms that would allow them to glide should they be able to do that.
Hi, my name is Emily, and my Genius Hour topic was over constellations. The thing that got me interested in it was, well, I was outside, and I thought stars were pretty. So, first I'm going to tell you what a constellation is. Constellations are stars that make up a shape or figure. The Little Dipper and the Big Dipper are not actually constellations, they're called asterisms. An asterism is a group of stars having a popular name but smaller than a constellation. Okay. During the day, you cannot see the dimmer stars because the sun outshines the rest of them. All stars are hot balls of glowing plasma held together. The largest constellations by area is Hydra, which is 3.16% of the sky. The oldest description of constellations as we know them is called Phenomena, written about 270 BC by the Greek poet Atreus. There are 88 recognized constellations in the sky. 48 of the constellations are known as the original constellations.
Throughout the year. Why does this happen? The Earth spins on its axis, moving east to west, so objects appear to rise in the east and set in the west each day from our vantage point. As Earth continues its path around the sun, different constellations become visible at night, as the sun appears to be in different parts of the sky. There are a total of 88 recognized constellations by the IAU.
Hi, my name is Allie.
And my name is Ryan.
And our Genius Hour driving question is, what does it take to become a veterinarian? So first is a video of our interview with a real vet. What is your worst experience you've had with an animal at your job?
Sometimes being bitten. You've got to have a really good holder to make sure that they don't get loose, that they don't bite you or scratch you, so that they don't bite your handler either. So that's the toughest thing in the veterinary office, is that everybody stays safe.
Okay. Why did you choose to become a vet?
Like everybody else, I like animals. I like animals a little bit more than people, and I like being able to help them when they can't talk to tell me what's wrong and how to fix it.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how stressful is your job and why is it stressful?
I feel like that's a trick question. It's a pretty stressful job. I'd say most days an 8 or a 9. You know, you get your healthy visits that come in, you know, your cute puppies and kittens. But you never know when an animal that's sick might come through the door. You never know if a dying animal might come through the door. Sometimes you have to go to emergency surgeries. You have a lot of paperwork that has to be done. You work a lot of long hours. And it's a lot of fun playing with the puppies and kittens, but there's a lot of sick ones too, and that's can be stressful to take care of.
Okay. What is your favorite part about this job?
I love getting to help my patients, and I love getting to help my clients. I like seeing people come in with a sick animal and leave with a healthy one. I like being able to see puppies as they grow and get bigger and get to be older dogs and see them be happy and healthy.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My dog Buddy was rescued by my family from his old owner, who neglected and abused him so badly that he had what is called bot flies. He had one of these bot flies in his eye. He also has no Achilles tendon, which has led to many disadvantages in life. He cannot even simply jump onto the couch. We have to pick him up. He is my handicapped dog, but I love him so much. He needed a vet's help, so we researched what does it take to become a life-saving vet. And this is a bot fly, which is what he had.
My dog Bella is 2 years old. We rescued her from our last owners. We gave her to my aunt and uncle until her eyes opened. The reason we did that is because we already had a dog and he needed to be housebroken. We brought her home, got her shots, everything was going well until I was at school one day and I came home to find her being really still. We rushed her to the vet and found out she had a bug in her body that was making her weak. She got surgery and it took her about 2 weeks to recover. When she recovered fully, she was the happiest dog I've ever seen.
We also rescued my other dog, Mally. She was neglected too, and her owners only bought her for breeding. But the doctor said she was too small, and her owners would have to give her a C-section, which they didn't want to do. So since they only wanted her for breeding, they wanted to get rid of her. Luckily, my family rescued her because dogs do not deserve to go through that. Now she is happy at home, and no one is going to say she is too small for anything, because she eats like she is never going to eat again. And these are my dogs, Buddy and Mally, and Rise dog Bella.
I've always wanted to become a veterinarian since I was a kid. I had a dog that was acting weird and my mom gave birth to my younger sister, so since then I've become interested in animals and their behavior.
I have always been torn between doctor, vet, or even president. I love animals sometimes more than people, so I think I would be perfect to be a vet. Also, I want to go in A&M, which is a good college for vet school.
Some facts about vets are:
you have to go to college for at least 4 years in order to become a vet. $124,764,000 per year is their yearly salary. You usually have to have a bachelor's degree and earn a doctor of veterinary medicine degree in order to become a veterinarian, and approximately 59,000 veterinarians are currently employed in the United States.
There are different types of veterinarians. Veterinarians can work with animals as big as horses, cows, and even zoo animals, and as little of animals as a hummingbird. Veterinarians are the only doctors that cannot work on humans and the only doctors that can work on animals. This concludes our presentation.
Hi, my name is McKenna, and my driving question is, what does it take to become a neonatal nurse? My baby sister was born not too long ago, and whenever we were visiting her, I saw the door that they went into and the door next to it. It said NICU. Without her, I wouldn't know what being a neonatal nurse was, and here are my facts. Neonatal nurses have a huge responsibility. They have to deal with babies that are born premature and or that are very sick. Sometimes babies end up in the NICU because their mom smoked too many pills or too much medicine she didn't need while pregnant. On their job, they never know what they're about to do. Sometimes they have to take care of the sickest baby, sometimes they don't. Worst of all, sometimes they lose a baby and have to tell the parents what happened and what happened to their child. Even when they lose one, the parents know that there is a reason why it happened. Level 1 nurses care for infants born healthy with short hospital stays. Level 2 nurses take care of babies who were born premature or were ill.
Level 3 nurses work in the neonatal intensive care unit, also known as the NICU, where babies need specialized care and equipment such as ventilators. Candidates for neonatal nursing positions prepare for this career by earning an associate's degree, which is 2 years, or a bachelor's degree, which is 4 years in nursing. They must pass the NCLEX RN.
And his wedding band, we just see how high up it goes.
Oh, wow. It can't fit in no more.
The first time we put that ring
It
on,
went straight in.
it went all the way up to her elbow. It's just amazing.
All right, so will you promise me this? On pictures.
Of course.
Okay, you have to send pictures. You have to come back to our if you can.
Okay, I already told the nurses that we were coming back. Today I woke up and I jumped on top of him. I was like, he's coming home. I was getting really happy.
Lucas Rodriguez, man, he's what makes it all worthwhile. I said he'd be here 2 months. He was here short of 2 months. We try and make control out of chaos, and I think we're successful at it almost all the time. But there are some times when nature has a different course in mind, and I can't fix it. Those are the kids that haunt me. It's not about just surviving. Our goal is to send kids home who are gonna live a great life, to be happy and free of pain. I would like to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for everything you guys have done for Lucas and us. The world still doesn't know what you do. They can't understand how integral you are to the positive outcomes of these babies who started life so critically ill. But I do. So the next time you wave your access card to enter the unit, the few eyes have seen, know that you're appreciated. I know you and you're pretty amazing. Love always, Mom Rodriguez. Aw. It's really lovely.
Hi, my name is Colin, and this is my Genius Hour presentation. And I chose stop motion because when I'm bored at my house, I try to make stop motion films. And I was gonna teach y'all about the history of stop motion. So the first stop motion animation or film was made in 1896, and here's the video of it. Back then, they used to use people and themselves because there wasn't really toys to use. And nowadays, people use like Legos, Stickbots, and a lot of different just toys. And stop motion movies are often made because you can express and make it look like your toys or anything are really moving by themselves. And here are some Stickbots to pass around to look at, I guess. And while you're looking at those, you can tell that they're like made to like stick to the ground. and stick to things. And I have some pictures on here of it. And I was gonna say, there's some people who like are famous for making stop motion films, and a few are named, like Travis Knight, Barry Purves, PES, which is, it's not really his name, it's just the name of his channel who posts videos about these. And then Ko Hodeman, he's like a movie maker with them. And Travis Knight and Barry Purves also make movies, but they're more like, nowadays they make animations instead of stop motion. And the steps to create a stop motion film are you have to get the props you need a camera, you need good lighting, set up your props, take a picture, make your props slightly move, and then repeat the steps. And a lot of movies have been made with stop motion, like The Nightmare Before Christmas, Kubo and the Two Strings, Early Man, Chicken Run, and then Lego films are like the Lego Movie, the Lego Movie 2, and the Lego Batman movie. That concludes my presentation.
Hi, my name's Levi and this is Jai. Our driving question was, can we teach ourselves 3 magic tricks and show them to the class?
That stage magic doesn't have.
It's the impossible being done a few feet away from you.
The idea of being able to have magical powers is a very intoxicating idea.
Of all forms of magic, close-up is the oldest, the simplest, and the purest. At its heart, there are tricks that have hardly changed for thousands of years.
What's fascinating about magic is you go in there and say, I'm gonna lie to you, and then you do. And you say, look at this carefully, try to bust me, and they can't.
Eugene Robert Hewden, who opened a theater in which he would display mechanical animals he had created that appeared to be alive, but they were just robotic. Timeline.
The
Reputed first known
performance of a conjuring effect falls by the magician Deity in ancient Egypt. Deity, specifically in the Westcar Papyrus, to indicate that he performed the cup and bowls for anyone.
The Middle Ages were where much magic was associated with the occult and witchcraft. Which one do you want me to shuffle first? No.
I'm gonna do a quick magic trick. I need a volunteer. Choose a card. Show the class your card. You also, let's put that card down. Your card, a heart of 6.
Hi, my name is Ramsey. My driving question is, how do you care for an FFA rabbit? I became interested in this topic because I'm currently working on getting rabbits for FFA, and I've had many friends and family members in FFA. So the first thing I want to talk about is the types of rabbits that are preferred by FFA users and FFA judges. There are multiple types of rabbits that you can use, but the most common types are the Mini Rex, Holland Lop, Polish, and Dutch rabbits. The Mini Rex rabbit is a very child-friendly rabbit and is one of the most popular rabbit breeds in America. There are many colors that this rabbit can be seen wearing. These colors are black, dark under blue, castor, chinchilla, chocolate, Himalayan, lilac, lynx, opal, otter, red, sable point, silver, silver martin, smoke pearl, tortoise, and white. The Mini Rex is one of the most preferred rabbits by FFA users. One of the other most common types of rabbits is the Holland Lop. The colors on a Holland Lop are broken, which is any color with white, black, blue, chocolate, lilac, ruby-eyed white, black-eyed white, chestnut, chinchilla, lynx, opal, and squirrel. The Holland Lop can live up for 10 years. The final rabbit that is preferred by FFA users is the Dutch rabbit. The lifespan of a Dutch rabbit is 5 to 8 years, but if you spay or neuter your rabbits, then they can live longer. The colors of a Dutch rabbit are white, black, pale blue, chinchilla, chocolate, gray, steel, and tortoise. The type of cages that you need, most people get confused about this because they think that steel cages would be okay, but they aren't. The cages you need are cages that can easily be stacked, and they can't be steel. They have to be wire, but they cannot be steel, because if your rabbit tries to bite at the cages, like the bars on the cages, then it'll break its teeth, and that'll mess up your showing for your rabbit. Students in FFA also purchase nest boxes. A nest box is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It is a wooden box with hay or something soft that a female rabbit will keep her babies inside. Each doe needs her own nesting box, because if you have multiple does using one nesting box, then your does will start thinking, oh, all of these babies are mine, and that's not going to work. You can also give them romaine lettuce or carrot and carrot tops. Some of the things you should not feed your rabbits are corn, avocado, rhubarb, bread, cookies, pasta, light-colored lettuces, anything with yogurt, cereal, sugary foods. By sugary foods, that just means anything that doesn't have sugar that's naturally in it. If you have to add sugar to it, then you don't want to give that to your rabbit. Hamster food, walnuts, chocolate, peanut butter, potatoes, or any meat. These foods, this is just some of them, there are probably a lot more, but these are some of the foods that will mess up your rabbit's digestive system. It can cause heart failure and other things. And that concludes my presentation.
My name is Anaya, and my driving question is, what does it take to become a veterinarian? I was interested in this topic because I love and cherish animals. During my research, I found that there is a lot more to becoming a veterinarian than just loving an animal. It is a difficult process that takes a lot of dedication, hard work, and many years of school. The term veterinarian comes from a Latin word vetinae, which means working animals. In the United States, to become a veterinarian, it requires 4 years to gain your bachelor's degree, following an undergraduate bachelor's degree, a total of 7 years of school. After graduating, many then do special clinic training as interns to prove that they are ready to become a veterinarian. Some of the duties of a veterinarian include examining animals to diagnose their health problems, treating and dressing wounds, performing surgeries on animals, test for and vaccinate against diseases such as distemper, parvo, hepatitis, and rabies. operate medical equipment such as x-ray machines, advise animal owners about general care, checking the dog's eyesight to make sure there is no vision issues, cleaning the dog's ears out to remove excess wax, dirt, or other debris. Checking the heartbeat, which can be under the elbow. This ensures that the dog doesn't have any heart issues such as blockage, organ damage, heart murmurs, or other diseases. As I mentioned before, being a veterinarian takes a lot more than just loving an animal. I'd like to show you a video of some of the difficult challenges that vets and interns face.
You can't put out this fire, no matter what you throw at me.
For America's top vet students,
I want to be one of the best in the world at what I do.
getting an education isn't exactly a walk in the dog park.
If anyone thinks that it's easy, they're dead wrong.
After 3 grueling years of cramming and test taking, their 4th year, they head out into the real world where they put their skills to the test in life and death situations with man's best friend and beyond.
As you can see, becoming a veterinarian takes loving animals, but so much more. It takes dedication, long hours, studying, persistence, and hard work. After my research, my desire to becoming a veterinarian has only increased. I hope you learn to appreciate the hard work that your vets put into your furry friends. Thanks for listening and have a doggone perfect day.
Have you ever wondered about life's endless mysteries? Like what you will eat next? What you will wear next? And how will you do your hair? My name is Bo and I did my passion project over braids. My driving question was, can I familiarize the class with 3 types of braids? The reason I chose braids is I always loved having my hair fixed and I want to learn how to do it on myself and others. I will be showing you 3 braids, but I will be doing the most common braid on Carly, the French braid. But first, I'm going to teach you about the history of braids. Braids can be dated back to almost 5,000 years ago. That long ago was in northern Africa where African Americans wore their hair in very tight braids as a cultural belief. From then on, braids have been seen all over the world. And no, the French braid is not French, nor the Dutch with the Dutch. They're very similar. On the Dutch, the hairy ad goes under instead of over. On the French braid, the hair goes over, unlike the Dutch braid. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something new. So what you want to start off with is a small section of hair. So you get that section and divide it into 3 pieces. I like to start with the left strand and flip it over the middle and then the right. And then I'll add hair to the right. Then I'll switch what was the middle but now the left over that and add hair to this piece. Then you just want to continue this process all the way down. Once you get near the bottom, you want to start adding bigger pieces of hair, unlike the top where you add smaller ones. So, once there might be pieces sticking out, you just want to put hair tie in. Then you have yourself any type of braid that you wanted to do. How are birthdays celebrated in other countries? Today I'm talking about where birthday traditions come from in a few different countries. Modern birthday celebrations are evolved from ancient European traditions that came about as attempts to fend off evil spirits. People believed the spirits were attracted to a person while celebrating their birthday, so the tradition started to help keep them away by giving gifts and well wishes. The first country I'm doing is Canada. In Canada, their birthday cakes have a coin in it. Whoever finds it is the first to play games at the party. Another tradition is at the parties, children get colorful gifts called crackers, which are tubes wrapped in crepe paper. When you pull the strip of paper out of the center, there is a small prize like candy, a fortune, or a hat. Lastly, they put grease on the child's nose so it's too slippery for bad luck to get to them. The next country is China. In China, everyone celebrates their birthday on New Year, even if it is not their official birthday. Traditionally, Chinese people do not pay a lot of attention to birthdays until a person is 60 years old. 60th birthday is regarded as a very important point of life. There is often a big celebration. After that, a birthday celebration is held every 10 years when they are 70, 80, etc. Generally, the older the person is, the greater the celebration. Also in China, it is considered unlucky to give someone a clock for a birthday present because the Mandarin word for clock is similar to death. In Mexico, they sing a song Las Mañanitas, which is like the American happy birthday song, and the parties always include a piñata, mostly. Another Mexican tradition is La Quinceañera. La Quinceañera marks the 15th birthday of a girl, and it is celebrated with a lot of joy. Africa. In South Africa, they follow a tradition of parents presenting a key of gold, silver, or aluminum foil on the 21st birthday. It is a symbol of the person's readiness to unlock the door to his or her future. In conclusion, no matter what country you're from or what traditions you follow, you always get cake, unless it's fried caterpillars. Thank you.
Here's a timeline. So pre-1970s, they made a 4 pinball, was baffle ball, and stuff like that. Then Tennis for Two in 1958. In 1962, Space Wars. 1970s, Pong was invented. 1975, Home Pong. 1976, Death Race, and more. And stuff just kept inventing. And we just kept going. Okay. So here are some facts. The game Pong was the very first game ever invented, and this is a game where you just hit a ball back and forth with 2 blocks. Then a game with the name Adventure was the very first game to have a hidden Easter egg. Half-Life was the best seller of 1998. The first Battle Royale was a game called H1Z1. Speedrunners have gone through a lot of games, but all have had trouble on one. Doom, a first-person shooter where you destroy demons. And then you all have heard of Fortnite. It is the most popular game of 2018. Before he was Mario, his name was Jumpman. That was in Donkey Kong. Well, that is all for now. We're moving on to a game. Easy round. Okay. Gabby?
Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
And Dad Dabney were working on something similar in a little company called Atari. You might have heard of it, and even if you haven't, I'm sure that your dad has. Atari's first major game release was in 1972, an arcade game called Pong. It was an immediate hit, and it's credited as the first commercially successful video game. Atari then released a home version of Pong in 1974. By 1978, competition between Atari and another game company called Midway was heating up. Midway had licensed an arcade game from the Japanese company Taito that put them on the map. The game? Space Invaders. It featured iconic characters like me, and it went on to become the second highest selling arcade game of all time. Space Invaders also helped kick off what is known as the golden age of arcade games. In response, Atari followed with the release of the arcade game Asteroids. It ranked 6th on the list of highest selling arcade games. It was a good game, but it's no Space Invaders. By 1980, Color came to arcade games, and this was also the year that another video gaming milestone was born. Pac-Man, created by the Japanese company Namco, was brought to the US by Midway. Important to the spread of video games into popular culture, Pac-Man was a character that could be licensed. It wasn't long before it had a song in the charts, a Saturday morning television show, and all sorts of other products. In just a year, Pac-Man arcade games made over $1 billion.
Hi, my name is Allie, and my driving question is, what is the history of Girl Scouts? I chose this as my driving question because I've been a member of Girl Scouts since I was in kindergarten. Guess of NASA. In the 1970s, during this period, Girl Scouts elected its first African-American national board president. Gloria D. Scott stood up for environmental issues by launching the Eco Action Program and helped Vietnamese refugee children adapt to their new homes in America. In the 1980s, Girl Scouts established Daisy Level for kindergarten-age girls as interest in Girl Scouting expanded, and also distributed the contemporary issues series that addressed some of the most serious issues teen girls of the day were confronting. Today, over more than 100 years, even as technology plays a larger and larger role in Americans' lives, Girl Scouts also stay connected to nature and the great outdoors. So while Girl Scouts introduces new badges to promote outdoor activities, we've also partnered with Google for Made with Code, a program encouraging girls to get an early start in computer science.
My name is Jacob, and my driving question is, can I learn about my 3 favorite dinosaurs that lived in the Cretaceous period? I'm interested in this topic because dinosaurs are cool, and I've always wanted to learn more about them. The first dinosaur that I picked is the Velociraptor. The Velociraptor is a carnivorous dinosaur, which means it eats meat and not plants. The Velociraptor's teeth is very sharp and pointy, and they have about 13 to 15 teeth in their upper jaw, and it has about 14 to 15 teeth in its lower jaw. The Velociraptor runs and walks on its 2 hind legs, like a T-Rex. Its front arms are used to hunt prey. Velociraptors lived in the Cretaceous period, which is 74 to 70 million years ago. The Velociraptors in the Jurassic Park movies actually increased the Velociraptor size by 2, and here's a picture of what they look like in Jurassic World. And that's what they look like as a fossil. And the T-Rex is the second dinosaur I chose. A T-Rex is a meat-eating dinosaur. It has 60 sharp and bone-crushing teeth. It moves on 2 legs, and the arms are used to grab hurt animals that it is trying to eat. It lived in the late Cretaceous period, which was 68 to 66 million years ago. It weighed about 7,000 kilograms, which is about 15,500 pounds. Fun facts of the T-Rex: it was the biggest meat-eating dinosaur that in the Cretaceous period. It could chew up to 230 kilograms or 507 pounds of flesh and bone in one bite. That's like a T-Rex eating a four-wheeler in one bite. And this is what the T-Rex looks like in the movie Jurassic Park. The plant-eating dinosaur. It lived in the late Cretaceous period, which was 70 to 65 million years ago. Its length is 98 feet. That is about 1/3 of a football field, or a little bit longer than 2 school buses. Fossils of this dinosaur have been found in North America. It belongs to a group called the sauropods, which is dinosaurs that are large herbivores with long necks and tails. And this is a picture of me and a Velociraptor at a wax museum in San Francisco. And that concludes my presentation of the dinosaurs.
Hi, I'm Nadia, and today I will be discussing how to train to become a professional ballerina and what is it like to be a part of a professional company. First of all, you need to know about point shoes, the anatomy, and how to take care of them. In most companies, being on point shoes with the proper technique will change your level drastically. You also need to be an expert at point shoes before heading towards looking at different companies. Now, as you can see, this is the anatomy of a point shoe. On the point shoe, you have the drawstring, the insole, the shank, the outer box, the wings, the pleats, the outer sole, the back seam, the waist seam, the heel section, the vamp, and the platform. And you can Look at them. And these are pointe shoes from the Canadian Ballet Company, and actual professionals wore those. Effects point hands-on feet. This can cause bunions, stress fractures, and also tear tissues. Now, one thing that you can help with this is by doing exercises just daily on a bar or something like that. It's not just having enough to eat, it's also about having healthy options. With that being said, here's a game that I think you will really enjoy. And you can just separate the healthy and the non-healthy items. Go. Salads. Getting through the pain and pushing yourself will help you succeed at your accomplishments. If dancers are in pain or have injuries, that is not an excuse. Every single day, dancers take risks of having injuries, pulled muscles, stress fractures, tear tissues, and internal injuries. Being a dancer takes mental power. Dancing is rough on a human's body, leading in long-term effects. Dancers are twisted in a way that is not natural for a human body. When you are in the moment, you don't realize how much damage is being done. Cheating gets you nowhere. Working to become a professional dancer takes hard work, but once you've accomplished that goal, it feels amazing. Dance sets you up for hard work, but can also set you up for life. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for watching.
Hi, my name is Melissa, and my driving question is, what are the characteristics of wolves and how can we earn their trust? What do you guys think of wolves?
Scary. Like they're gonna eat my face.
So you think they're gonna eat you? Okay.
They're
Anybody
scary.
else?
Mean. They're
Mean.
pretty vicious.
They look vicious. Look cruel. Okay. Gianna.
They look cute, but they look scared.
Okay. What are the characteristics of wolves and how can we earn their trust? Why I wanted to research wolves. I used to think the same thing as you about wolves. Then one year I went to Yellowstone and they had a wolf presentation. It taught me a lot about wolves and I'm hoping I can do the same here. Facts about wolves. They have keen senses, large canine teeth, and powerful jaws. They have the ability to catch prey at 37 miles an hour. Wolves are intelligent, non-aggressive, and friendly, with the ability to make strong emotional attachments to humans. Wolf is a symbol of guardianship, ritual, loyalty, and spirit. Wolves are the biggest in the dog family. Wolves in the wild have an average lifespan of 6 to 8 years, but have been known to live up to 13 years in the wild and 16 years up in captivity. This is probably what you imaged in your mind when you thought of wolf. And this is what they can be. This lady worked with these wolves, had a connection with these wolves, and she left for about, I think it was 3 to 6 months, and she came back, and these wolves started running after her. But these wolves were not threatening her. They were coming back to welcome her home.
Movies, there's someone who's lost in the wilderness, and they come across a dangerous and deadly wolf. While these situations make the stories more exciting, they give wolves a bad name. This is just one of the things that Danielle and the others at Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center are trying to change. They want people to know that wolves are not the villains. When Danielle goes to work every day, she goes out into the woods. She works with these dangerous creatures every day so that she can educate the public about how important these animals actually are to our ecosystem. Not only do they take the public on tours of the forest, they also run educational programs, and they pay attention to the animals' natural habitat so that they can safely live in the wild. Their group is called the Colorado Wild and Wildlife Center. Most people have never heard of the organization, and most don't know what the group does to help these animals. When an amazing video of Danielle at work went viral, the group started receiving a great deal of positive media attention. In the video, Danielle looks as though she's being surrounded by two fierce creatures. Just a few seconds into the video, you see that these wolves, they want to play with her rather than trying to attack her. When the video begins, two wolves want to play. Soon after, she's playing only with a wolf named Keiko. The other wolf moves away, almost like he's waiting his turn. Not only is she playing with him in the video, she's cuddling with him. He climbs up in her lap.
They are thought to be aggressive. For example, Beauty and the Beast and Little Riding Hood, they are antagonists. Generally, the things I found that wolves prefer in humans are being female. Wolves tend to like women more, maybe because they're smaller, smell better, are less threatening, but the wolves have always warmed up much more quickly to unfamiliar women than unfamiliar men. Move slowly and deliberately and not directly towards the wolf. Wolves don't like to feel pursued. Better to ignore the wolf and make it more curious about you. Don't wear hats or glasses. Most wolves don't like them. The ones that do like them will try to steal them from you. Don't stare right at the animal. Just like with dogs, a direct stare is interpreted as a threat.